Hey, my friend. So today we are talking about an opposition between Mars and Pluto. This is a transit that's happening today, April 26th. It also hit twice in the past, over the past few months. And I'm going to give you a couple of dates to look back at. If you want to see the thread, find the through line of what's processing for you personally when it comes to energy and power and shadow and working with big transformation that wants to erupt, maybe in a very powerful way. Welcome. We are diving into the planet Mars, which is all about action, ambition, drive, creating in the physical world. Mars also rules rage and passion, very physical energy. And then we've got Pluto. Pluto represents the deepest possible transformation. It also represents shadow material, things that are hidden. When Mars and Pluto meet in an opposition, a challenging energy, this is like a face-off between two very strong energies that is going to, in some way, result in change. What does that mean? What does that look like? Let's break it down. I want to talk about what Mars opposing Pluto may look like in your life, both internally and externally, how to work with it consciously so you come out stronger, transformed, not stuck in old patterns. And I'm also going to give you a few dates to look at in particular so you can connect the dots on what is being revisited right now. So, first thing, when people hear about a transit like this, oh, it's big, explosive, it's shadow stuff. There's often a common question of like, well, is this good or bad? What does it mean and what's going to happen to me? And it's totally normal to have a response like, is this good or bad? Your mind and your nervous system are wired to protect you, to scan the horizon for threats, to look for what might or might not be okay. But here's the truth. And I think Mars opposing Pluto is a perfect time to look at this truth that astrological transits are not about the universe doing something to you. They are about you as a conscious, powerful co-creator in the energy soup that we are in. They don't dictate your fate. When we work with astrology, we're looking at what's already happening. What are the energy patterns that are there? And when we work consciously with these energy patterns, we can create on a much more powerful level. When we're unconscious, then it might show up as this energy arising in a way that is distorted, is something that we are resisting against. And that's when it can cause suffering, can cause angst, can cause, if we're talking about Mars, lashing out in anger, as opposed to channeling that powerful energy very constructively. So, reminder that you are not, astrology doesn't dictate what happens to you. It reveals and shows and describes what's already going on and allows you to participate more consciously in the creative process. So, what does this mean in 2025 in the middle of a very intense time on the world stage? Mars opposing Pluto. We're talking about, again, the energy of deep transformation and the energy of the physical body, physical energy, strong drives. So, some ways this could show up for you: waves of powerful emotion, anger, fear, grief rising to the surface. It could show up as a need or a feeling like you need to control situations or people. And this can often be showing you where you're invited to meet any fearful places that are driving you to feel like you need to control. You might become aware of obsessions or fixations. There may be more of like a raw clarity about your true desires. Like, what is that pure desire that is coming forward really strongly? That's one thing I want to invite you to tap into in this transit, even if it feels a little uncomfortable around it, even if there's a lot of energy. and what needs to die off or be transformed in order to make room for this very powerful new desire energy that's coming through. There also might be surges of powerful creative energy, or there might be surges of exhaustion or fatigue as you're navigating all of this and moving through these very big shifts. So, those are some things you might notice internally: emotional waves, a feeling of like a need to control, feeling obsessed, feeling fixated, or clarity about desires and very pure desire energy coming through. We can also notice what this transit might bring in the external world: power struggles, heated confrontations, arguments, a lot of energy, like opposing type energy arising in some way. There also might be moments that are inviting or demanding that you clarify your boundaries or speak your truth. Another big thing I want to tune you into right here. There could be endings to patterns, roles, relationships that have been unstable for a while. This is a transit that could bring some kind of sudden change of something that just needs to transform. And with that, there could be courageous openings, breakthroughs, an invitation to act more boldly, to create more clearly, and to create from your truth, from your true, pure desire and energy coming through. So, what we want to remember is that Pluto doesn't destroy for the sake of destruction. It reveals what is unstable or what's hidden so you can consciously show up and transform it. When Mars, which is like pure action, desire, drive, meets Pluto, which is very deep alchemy, you're invited to meet the shadow places and the strength places. And you're invited to connect in a very raw, primal way to this energy of you, and to step out of old fear patterns and into conscious choice. So, again, this energy might play out if you are not consciously connected to this energy. It might play out in ways like explosive fights that feel like they erupt out of nowhere, or power grabs, or like a collapsing into fear or rage, or even like a frozenness with fear or rage underneath. Or the same energy can move consciously through you as courageous truth telling that clears and transforms, as empowered action that's rooted in deep, true, unshakable integrity, creative breakthroughs that are aligned with that next level of your soul that is waiting to break forth. This is the time. This is the time to pay attention to that energy, to pay attention to those drives, to that expression that wants to come through. So notice how we've got the same energy that could come through in unconscious or conscious ways. And my invitation today, April 26th, tomorrow, transits like this, where Mars is involved, are going to take like a few days. So for 2-3 days, we're in this energy. Notice what is up for you around any of these areas of power struggles, deep surges of like very pure primal feeling energy or drive or emotion. And I'm going to invite you to give space and honor what's arising in whatever way is most helpful for you, whether that's journaling it out to start to get connected to it, or simply connecting to the pure body energy of it. This is a really good time for that. It's always a good time to connect to your body, but a Mars transit taking you deep is a time where physical energy and expression might be required or really helpful to move all this energy through. So whether that is breath work, whether it's a physical workout, whether it is tuning into the emotion and energy in your body and letting it organically move through in some kind of way that it wants to discharge. Allow this energy to move and notice what happens in the space. and give yourself space around this energy, these any insights that may arise as you let yourself connect to the physical fullness of who you are. All right, so I mentioned that there are some key dates to look at. I'm recording this on April 26th, and this transit is peaking in the evening if you are in North American or South American time zones. It'll be happening around 5, 6, 7 p.m.-ish tonight, give or take. But we've been through this energy before. And if you want to look back at these dates, we did a first pass of this on, I think it was November 3rd. Yeah, November 3rd. So an interesting time, certainly in the United States journey and story in regards to power, particularly. Look back at whatever may have been going on for you in relation to these kinds of themes of power, physical energy, creative energy, wanting to break through, your voice coming through in a more powerful way. Look back to November 3rd, give or take a couple of days. And then there was another pass of this on January 2nd of this year, January 2nd, 2025. So sometimes when you look back at the through line of transits like this, you might find an actual theme of like really specific events that are coming forward. You might identify for yourself, like, yeah, this happened and then it resurfaced there and there. So just notice if there's something like that for you. And if there's not, don't worry about it. You're not missing anything, but it can sometimes be helpful to just tune into the literal dates where this transit passed through before and notice what was coming up in your personal world that may be coming through for a final completion at this time on April 26th-ish. That doesn't mean that you're never going to meet these issues of power and power struggles again, but there may be something you are meeting and completing at this time. So you may want to check back to those dates. Notice whether it's through those dates or just through noticing the themes that I'm sharing here, what kinds of challenges are or breakthroughs are wanting to happen. Mars-Pluto energy is not random. It's part of a deeper cycle of your personal evolution and your place in the larger collective as we move through very interesting stories and sagas of power and voice and speaking truth and changes that are ultimately moving in the direction of creating a different kind of world that works for everyone. You're here on the earth at this time to be a part of that change, and I'm going to invite you into connecting to your personal power in a new way through this transit by meeting whatever is arising for you today, meeting whatever feelings, whatever your voice wants to express, allowing yourself to process and move through that energy and know that you are the cosmos, you are the creator, and you are here to partner with the energy at this time for growth and contribution. I would love to hear what this sparks for you. If you want to leave me a note in the comments, and please like and subscribe if this has been helpful, and I will see you soon. Take great care.